What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, as well as discuss, because I got trapped in the old intro, got me, as well as we discuss the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, tips and tricks, as well as we discuss vulnerabilities. In general, cybersecurity is what we touch on, but we do highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What up? What up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Hello, how the hell are you?
Yeah, see, I was freestyling too much. I messed up, but I'm not going to take that over again. So today, I like to just facilitate just a discussion because I like those episodes. So a lot of news has been circulating about just the ramifications of the pandemic, whether it be our social lives, our health, obviously, and just the new normal. But with that, I found on platforms like Clubhouse, as well as Facebook and Twitter, there's some specific cybersecurity topics that come up, such as, hackers having more time to hack. So in that, what we've come to find out is, I think in the last article we talked about work from home being the biggest loser. Phishing attempts were up like 360%. Like, hackers know that you're working from home and they want to get in that network, right? And they're stealing credentials, they're stealing passwords and things of that nature. They're causing havoc. So idle hands, as we discuss on many episodes, are tools of the devil, so to speak. But with that being said, like, what are you guys seeing out there in your respective, like, obviously no trade secrets, but like just the conversations that are coming up when it comes to, phishing attempts and things of that nature that are going on?
Well, I'm thinking, so I'll say this, that I think I think it's interesting. Like you just mentioned that the cyber incidents have like gone up during the pandemic, and what I picture is not only because people are, home more, so they're more likely to get like hacked. Because like we talked about in another episode that a lot of these companies have been opening up their firewalls to let their employees into the network, using their mobile devices, using their personal devices. So that leaves them open to cyber incidents. But at the same time, I think some of these hackers, they're probably just like you and I, and they're probably home. I imagine a lot of these hackers, if they're like, not doing it full time, they probably have another job elsewhere. And so them not having to go to work and, perhaps they have to travel to work and come back home. Now they're at home all the time. Maybe they're connected to a Zoom call. And then on the other computer, they have their hacking laptop set up. And this is where they can hack devices while they're still like, they're still at work or still in a meeting or something like that. So I think it gives these hackers more opportunity, more time on their hands, more time in front of a computer to instigate these hacking attempts. But I mean, I know we've talked about it before as well, like in maybe another episode this week, but a lot of these companies have decided that they just wanted to just get everything up and running as quickly as possible. And cybersecurity wasn't really at the forefront of their decisions. But I think steadily people and companies are starting to realize that cybersecurity is important, and something that should be maybe thought of even before deciding to open things up, or before deciding to make, any kind of big decision with gaining access to devices, or even if they, if they get some fancy new product out on the web, and like, oh, we want to try out this new device, this new technology that's, I don't know, virtual reality or something like that. First thing they should be thinking, like, okay, how are we going to secure it? What steps do we need to take to secure this device and make sure that nobody can get into it? And what do we do if somebody does get into it? What's the risk? What could we lose? What's the cost of to us if we, or the potential cost to us if we did get hacked and somebody gained access to our systems? And do we have it properly backed up? Do we have it properly secured? Do we have do we have fault tolerance so they can still maybe run while one portion is been compromised? We can fall back to like another region or something like that. So These are things that I think are important, and I think become even more relevant in the last year here with the pandemic, since we've all been home. And I forgot what the statistics are, but they've also cybersecurity has gone 1,000% more than it used to be back before the pandemic broke out. So I think it kind of goes to show that we live in a digital age, and we need to make sure that we're smart about how we're protecting our systems. But you guys have some more thoughts on that as well?
So I do. So hackers having more time to hack, right? So with my company, I haven't seen it be a big issue, right? But I work with the Department of Defense, and they're usually pretty decent, about shoring their stuff up. But something that comes to mind is the reason, right? So what is the reason for this? Is this because, remember when this pandemic kicked off, like there was a lot of people that just got laid off just right from the jump, right?
That's true.
So is this one of those things where people were like, I got laid off from my job, I need something to do? It could have been people in IT, or it could have been somebody just a little pissed off right now, right? Like you got these, they call them script kiddies, right? Like you got these people that can just go to a site, whatever, just put something in. They're like, oh, this will do this if you do this, and they're just trying it, right?
Right.
Maybe they get a love to do some things that are more nefarious, right? Or maybe it's just to support their lifestyle, right? Like, give me some Bitcoin so I can pay my rent. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not gonna pay it in Bitcoin, but you can. I imagine there's a way to transfer that, right?
I would be real skeptical of like, so you want to pay me in what?
No. I know they're not gonna pay in Bitcoin, but like
you were obviously a hacker.
If you do the ransomware though, like you'll convert that, like you can cash that out or whatever, right? And then convert it to cash or put it in your bank account or whatever. But yeah, like what is their reasoning behind it? I mean, do they have more time because the pandemic came and they lost their job? You know what I mean? Were they always this nefarious person that just gave them a reason to do it, right? Like I can't speak to what people's reasons are, because the people that are doing it for the wrong reasons aren't exactly volunteering that information, right? They're not coming out and I'm doing this because I just want to be a jerk about it. So more time to hack, I mean, it's out there, like you say, Ryan, the idle hands will do the work of the devil, right? But I don't know the reasoning behind it, so I don't even know how to combat that, to say, hey, stop doing it, right? I don't want to be like Will Smith and I Am Legend. I can help you, and blow myself up. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah. And then again, we don't know.
I hope that wasn't a spoiler. People.
You just ruined a movie that came out a decade ago.
At least like a little timeline. You can't. It's been over a certain amount of period. You can spoil.
Right. But it wasn't as good as the book. But I love Will Smith, so I'm put that out there too. Read the book. So we don't know necessarily, at least I don't know the statistics of who was doing it from the States and who was doing it from other countries. So we know a lot of this is state sponsored, and it's targeting us because of our working from home situation. But culturally, I don't know. I mean, like I'm not over in Russia or China to know, like, are they also in the same predicament where it's idle hands, or are these people who already were in the field and now they just have easier targets, like multiple soft targets? Like instead of hitting a big corporation, I have hundreds of people who are now working from home with, really flimsy firewalls, if anything. Maybe they don't have even host-based security. We don't even know. Again, people have been put in a situation where they don't even know that they're vulnerable. And we kind of talked about that. That's kind of what I didn't want to talk about before, but it's like maybe in the future, if this becomes a thing going forward, you issue out your own platforms, like your own laptops and phones of that nature, where they've been patch secured and they have the proper host-based security on them. And then you have to set up a VPN concentrator over at the parent company to allow them access, because just punching holes in your firewall is not the safest route to go, right? So, and they did a lot of that. Like, hey, we need to get people working. We need, like you said, by any means necessary. I need to get them back on the job. So they kind of weakened their own defenses. They took a risk-based approach, and now no one expected for us to still be home. Like, this was not. I thought it was going to be like maybe a couple months. Like we're over a year now, so now you got to start shoring up those vulnerabilities. But that leads me into my other topic. What about workplace security fatigue? So I was in a clubhouse that talked about this specifically, where they saw they had employees who used to be very vigilant when it came to security, but now that they're home, They have access to their IoT devices. They're accessing work email through their mobile devices, or like you said, Shannon, like they might be doing it from their I don't want to, like, it's going to be an iWatch or a Apple Watch, because nobody else buys them other things. Smart watches, and they're just not the most secure things in the world, right? So like iOS 14 vulnerability compromised a lot of different Apple platforms. So I'm not sure if watches were part of it, but they could have been. And then that's just leading people in. So what do you think about the whole fatigue aspect of it?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing for sure. People are just getting tired of being locked up. And then the fact that a lot of people have, I don't know, kind of like we mentioned before, a lot of people have, they have their mobile devices and stuff like that, mobile devices, or like maybe even if they have like a company computer, sometimes they don't even secure their company computer. And, they're just like, to make things easier, they're just like, oh, let me just give them full admin rights to the computer. They can download whatever they want, and they can download any kind of like virus or any kind of program that may have like a virus embedded in it, and compromise the system. And then they're using that same computer to connect to the network. But I know there's definitely fatigue. Obviously, there's like, people go through the efforts to secure devices, and they think like, okay, I've done enough. I'm tired of like trying to lock everything down. I can't even get any work done. It's so locked down that it feels like it's hampering my work routine. But that's what hackers are waiting for: people to get lazy and to get like you said, fatigued with cybersecurity and going through the ropes of trying to secure the devices.
Or complacent.
Yeah, complacent. That's right. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Complacent. They're just getting kind of relaxed about it. Like, oh, I did enough. There's no need to, I don't need to worry about updating my firmware, or my virus protection, my antivirus here, or like, I put this, I put one security device here that I think should be enough to protect, but even though it should maybe have multiple layers to it, because I think that's one of the big points of like CISP and some other like the
defense in depth.
Yeah, defense in depth.
All those layers.
Right. So you got to have multiple layers. You got to, and so like some people may rely on just on, I just have one layer. I have a firewall here. That's all I need. But don't think about if somebody got past that firewall. Maybe the firewall got compromised, and they're able to make it to the other side of the firewall.
There you go. It came full circle right there.
Came full circle, other side of the firewall. So now they're inside your network.
Right.
But yeah. I think that's my general thoughts on it. I mean, we got to like stay vigilant. Can't be complacent. Got to make sure that we all are staying on top of our cybersecurity needs, and make sure even just the simple things to make sure your workstation's up to date. If you got Windows or Apple, make sure you're getting the latest and greatest patches. And it's good to keep an eye out. Just for anything in the wind. Like some things, may become a news story before they become like patched. Before they actually implement a patch, you may actually hear a story out there that, oh, this certain thing is compromised, and the company's working on a patch, but it's not released yet. So it's good to be, aware of those things, and follow some news articles that kind of talk on these subjects, so that at least you're smart about it. But you guys have some more thoughts on it? What about you, Shannon?
So I do. Like, I realize it's a thing, but I just don't understand it, right? Because it would seem to me that you would have more time to do those things, right?
Yeah.
So like I get people are still busy at home, right? There's other stuff you got to do, right? But if I go into work, maybe someone's not walking up to my desk to ask me for something that takes me away from what I'm doing, right? Like it's just one of those things that, depending on what your job is, I guess, right? But I don't have that distraction of someone coming and doing something that I was not planning for, right? So why would I not have the time to do whatever it is I need to do? Why would I not have the time to verify my antivirus updates are where they need to be, right? To verify my data loss prevention is working like it needs to be, to verify exemptions for whatever that I need to go to are in place. And usually if a company is going to issue something to you, like they're usually responsible for doing the patches for that. And they usually do it when you VPN in, right? Like your system registers in, you get it that way, right? So The only way I see that not happening is if you're just not logging in which case they should get you for time card fraud and fire you.
Yeah, and I think it's for people who are using their own devices, like the whole BYOB thing. Like, is it still bring your own, or BYOD, bring your own device? I said the wrong one.
Bring your own beer.
Yeah.
No, and I hear you, right? And I hear you. Right?
Somebody's been holding their hand for years. Like now you want me to do it myself? I don't even know what a patch is.
but even then, you still have to put something out, and someone should still be verifying, right? Like, so
should be.
I don't like if you are applying patches, you have something that is giving you some type of report that tells you what your percentage is for patch compliance, right? At that point, no matter what tool you use, they will spit out a report to say, okay, you're at 80%, 85%, 90%, whatever it may be. And you could see who's not being compliant, and you can reach out to them accordingly. That's what your cybersecurity team should be doing, right? Especially if not everybody is in there at work bugging them and tapping them on the shoulder all the time, right?
Right. Yeah, from that perspective, I just mean like customers, like, or not even customers. Like, let's say it's your job is the books at a fitness center or something like that. Like, all you need is Quick and whatever. I don't know what else they use, but like, are you still on Windows 7? Because you could be still use the software. And then you straight hosed at that point.
That's right. And still on like XP or something, on 95.
So yeah. So it's I think that's going to be the hardest part, because like I had a conversation because I don't work with all IT people, right? But I had a 5-minute, like, not argument, but more of a debate about the reasons for a good password. And I'm just like, man, like this is what, because I'm so used to working with people who are in IT. When I don't work with them, and something piques my interest and I ask those questions, I'm just like, oh, use the same password for everything? He was like, absolutely. He's like, why would I want to come up with a password for all these other things to lock myself out? And I was just like trying to just explain, just, like, take those steps, like, because I mean, he's not wrong. Like, it is easier. But it's easier for someone to steal all his stuff. That's what I was trying to explain. So I got him to a point where he was actually considering getting a password wallet. He's like, because I'm not going to take all these to memory. What else can I do? I'm not going to update them, frequently. So I was like, well, and then he was like, I'm not doing MFA. And I was like, well, I feel you on that one. But I got caught up, and MFA saved my life.
Oh boy.
So I'm explaining all to him. And finally I was like, hey, just get a password wallet. And I explained to him what that was. And he was like, I could do that. So there's a lot of people out there who they don't read from the gospel. They not read from the CPK like they should be.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely understand that. And it's one of those things where I think even myself, sometimes I forget that, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, really, you don't do this? And I'm like, well, Shannon, you've been doing this for how many years now, right? Like,
right.
And again,
beat into us.
Exactly. And the company you keep, right, is aware of this, so it's not even a conversation. Right. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's good to have those conversations. But at the end of the day, like, you have people, mom and pop businesses that are out there, who don't have that. I just don't know how do you fix that? I just don't know. But I think but that's not necessarily fatigue. That's just ignorance, because everybody's not going to be tech savvy. It's just not the way it is. But almost everybody was working from home for a second. Like, the world shut down. So we gotta figure out some way to educate and get them to fix their own stuff without being compromised. Because that'll get you fix your stuff. Like, you learn real quick. Like, I was MFA'd out after my little breach.
Right.
Like, when they got into, what was it, my Ubisoft account, they were over there pivoting. I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. Pivoting. I was like that meme of the Wiggins kid on the bus. Like, I'm in danger.
I don't know if I've seen that one. But
oh yeah. He was on the bus. I'm in danger. That was me. I'm not even fatigued. I was just being lazy.
Ralph.
Okay.
Right? Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph. There it is. Yep, Ralph.
Like, I know you're talking about. Yeah, Ralph Wiggins. I got you. Yeah.
He's like, I'm in danger.
In danger. That's pretty good.
No, Jess, this was a good conversation. I appreciate it. And I like these. I like where we just get to talk about stuff. So it's not based on necessarily a news article, but it's still based on facts, right? So I think we we did a good job there. Pat myself on the back.
That's right. That's right. And I'm just going to add too. I mean, I think you have a point there as far as, I know, I was thinking about like, what's the solution? Because like you said, I think we're like getting into like a digital, even more into digital age nowadays. Like as technology improves, everybody's getting connected some kind of way. Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody's like, most likely has like a computer somewhere that they interact with at some point. And how do we educate people to be more cybersecurity conscious? And maybe there needs to be like some courses in grade school or something. I don't know, some like technology course that people just learn technology just in general, and learn some protection mechanisms. Like, hey, you shouldn't have the same password for everything that you use. And like it almost be like a a grade school, like I don't know, maybe like a high school,
with like security hygiene 101.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you think as we're becoming more security digitally dependent, maybe that needs to be something that we kind of keep in mind. And and along with that, kind of not cybersecurity related, but on the same foot, maybe even like, I think people don't learn about like investing and saving money and things like that in school. Things like that are kind of important, save for your retirement, save for your future. But both go kind of hand in hand. But like cybersecurity, I think is really important, and maybe that's something that should be kind of included in school someplace, even like if it isn't already, but some sort of technology like education, and
right,
yeah. But that was just a thought. Yeah.
No, that's smart. That's smart. That was kind of, so not to plug my own self. What's it called? Shiveling. What is it? When you peddle your own goods? I forget.
Oh,
but I started doing TikToks because people have very short attention spans, right? So I was doing security tips. Give you a quick 30 seconds. Do this. Don't do that. So like I think that's the way to get to them through social media. Very short bursts because people's attention spans are very short. So
right.
But if your attention is not short and you like to continue to watch these videos, I'm gonna need y'all to hit us up on YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter. So we're at www.com or www.com, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. Like, don't go to www.com. That's probably a bad place. You can also hit us up on Twitter at @on_firewall. We have a Facebook group with our name as well. IG, we're on the other side of the FW. And you can reach me personally, Twitter, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, IG, and TikTok. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. It's RYRY Security Guy. And LeVon?
And hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. So y'all be easy.
Take care.